Okay, guys, so on this video, we're going to be talking about what you can do when you're out in the field doing your research. Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about what you should be looking out for and how you should stay prepared for any surprises that may occur. Okay, so when we talked about notes in the previous videos, I mentioned the importance of being descriptive and detailed as possible. But it's also very important that you try to stay objective and unbiased. What do I mean by that? So when you're writing your notes, it's important that you write down exactly what you see, but you shouldn't be including your personal assumptions or opinions about the situation or the people you're observing. If you do want to write about any theories or hunches that you may have about whatever you're seeing, then you write those notes down on your interpretive parts, your interpretation parts of your notes, not on your descriptive part of your notes. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the importance of you being discreet. And here I'm going to repeat it again. Please try to be as discreet as possible because your environment will be altered and you will not be able to collect as great of notes as you expected because people's way of acting will be impacted by you because they'll notice that you're there, and people tend to change the way they act when they know that they're being watched or they're being observed. So it's highly, highly recommended you try to be as discreet as possible, avoid standing out. So next we're going to talk about your senses. Writing down notes I know can be kind of hard, especially when it has to do with observations, and it can be hard, especially hard when you have a location that doesn't really have a lot of things going on. So when you use your senses and you include that and you write that stuff on your notes, it really helps you collect good, solid data. Um, for example, write down notes about how the place feels, like the texture, how it feels, how it smells, how it tastes. Stuff like that are really, really good notes that you can have. And even though if the site is has a slow day and doesn't really have a lot of people. And lastly, we're going to talk about how you should be ready for any unexpected situations that may come up. Because if we're honest, when you're out in the field, anything can happen and nothing really goes according to plan normally. So it's very important that you know that something like maybe a person fainting, getting hurt, or even arguments can happen. So try to stay calm and try to stay safe, obviously, but also try to write down your reaction of the situation and everyone else's reaction of the situation, because those will really make good notes for good data. Also, it's important to mention that there could be a slight chance that you do stand out and someone does notice that you're doing something of not normal, and they may come up and ask you what you're doing exactly. If something like that happens, I recommend that you tell them the truth, tell them that you're there to do like a class project and that, but try to avoid telling them exactly what you're doing, like that you're doing like research and that you're doing your observations, because that person's there's like a high chance that person's going to change the way they're acting and it could alter your data. But never lie, don't lie, just tell them the truth that you're doing a class project.